Cell Systems, Section 4. Last time we looked at photosynthesis and cell respiration and how they help to solve the energy problem for cell systems. In many ways, we can describe cell respiration and photosynthesis as opposites, but that's a little simplified. Remember that cell respiration and photosynthesis are both energy processes, and their goal is to transform energy from one form to another. They work together as a cycle, which is probably a better way of describing them. Let's look at the chemical reaction for respiration and photosynthesis using chemical formulas for the different reactants and products. So we're going to start with cell respiration. We see here glucose plus oxygen yields carbon dioxide and water and ATP, which is cell energy. The arrow is where the work is happening. It's where bonds are broken and reformed. Everything before the arrow is a reactant. These are the things that are going to react with each other. Everything after the arrow is known as the product. These are the things that are going to be produced. Chemical formulas look a little complicated, but they're really just telling you what atoms are present and in what amounts. So the two reactants here for respiration, glucose, C6H12O6, and oxygen, give us 6 carbons, 12 hydrogens, 6 oxygens, and 6 molecules with 2 oxygen atoms each, so a total of 12 oxygen. Hopefully that helps to explain the chemical formulas. What is the chemical formula for glucose? Here we see glucose in all of its little glory. C6H12O6 is its chemical formula. Now these numbers that tell the number of atoms should be written as subscripts. But an easy way to do that is simply to change the font. Or you can get fancy and go up to your format button. Let me move this up so you can see it. And you can use this to change it to a subscript. Just go to Format, Text, and Subscript. And you can see the shortcut here for that is Control and the comma button. So if you want to be even fancier, you can do it that way. So either way you want to do it, totally fine. Just a little Google pro tip there for you. All right, which chemical process produces ATP? So if it's being produced, it's going to come after the arrow. The arrow is where the reaction is happening. It's where the work is going on. Which chemical process? Process is the name for what's happening. So the process on the top is cellular respiration, and the process on the bottom is photosynthesis. The reaction is described here, and each of these is a chemical formula. So we want to see which one produces ATP. It ends with ATP, and we see ATP on the end here, and this process is cellular respiration. What are the reactants of cell respiration? The reactants are the things that are reacting with each other. So they come before the work of the reaction. They come first. So here's cellular respiration. Here's the arrow. We're going to look at the things in front of it. And in front of it, we have glucose, which is the C6H12O6, and we have oxygen, which is the O2. What are the products of photosynthesis? So now we need to go down to the process at the bottom, photosynthesis. We need to find the arrow, which is where the work is happening. There's the arrow. We want the products. So we want the things that are produced, what it ends with, the things on the right of that arrow. And the products here are glucose and oxygen. And you'll notice right away that the reactants of cell respiration are the same as the products of photosynthesis. And that's why we can describe them as opposite, or even better, as a cycle. Which process, so process is asking respiration or photosynthesis, requires light. And you can see here on the arrow, the word light is written. That means it's something that's not technically part of this reaction, but it is required for the work to happen. And so light is required by photosynthesis, which is part of how it got its name. Photo means light, and it's using light to synthesize or make sugars. True or false? What cell respiration needs, photosynthesis produces. Well, if it needs it, that means it's going to have to start with it. It's a reactant. So are the reactants in respiration, which is glucose and oxygen, are these the things that photosynthesis produces? And you can see here, in fact, that's exactly true. Because photosynthesis and respiration are both reactions, they are affected by things in their environment like the presence of enzymes and temperature and pH and how much of the reactants do they have. Those things are what we call factors. The factors that would affect photosynthesis are things like how much light is present. You notice that as light intensity, as more light's available, increases, then the reaction goes up, 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 but then it kind of plateaus. It hits this straight line because eventually it's using all the light that it can to do the work that it can. But in general, we see as light intensity increases, photosynthesis increases. We're giving it more energy so it can do more. What about carbon dioxide? Remember, carbon dioxide is a reactant of photosynthesis. It's something it needs. And so as it gets more of what it needs, it can do more photosynthesis. So again, we see as CO2 increases, photosynthesis, at least initially, increases until it's got all the CO2 it can use. As temperature increases, what happens? Well, here we see something a little different. As it initially increases, the reaction goes up. That means more photosynthesis happening. But then it begins to go down. So first it increases, and then it decreases. Why would that happen? The answer is a review, really, of what we learned about enzymes, which are controlling this reaction. Remember, when enzymes get too far away from their optimum temperature, they break down and they cannot help the reaction. And that's exactly what happens when it gets too hot or when it was too cold. What about respiration? Respiration uses oxygen. So as it gets more of it, the process of respiration can happen more often. It increases. What about glucose? That's something else that respiration uses, that it needs. And we see the line goes up, which means as glucose increases, respiration also increases. What about temperature? And we see the same pattern here. First it increases, and then it decreases. And it's for the same reason. Remember that these are chemical reactions, and they are catalyzed. What happens, though, when oxygen is not available? That's not good for respiration. Remember, respiration needs oxygen to combine with the glucose as it breaks and remakes bonds in order to create the ATP. The good news is glucose has some oxygen of its own, C6H12O6. So even though aerobic respiration, which requires oxygen, can make a ton of ATP, 38 in fact, because of the mitochondria and its folded inner membrane and the way oxygen is used in the process, the cell can still use glucose to make ATP even when there is no oxygen. This process is called anaerobic, that prefix "an" meaning not or without, respiration. And it happens in animals and in plants, but it happens a little differently. In animals, when there is no oxygen available, it will break down glucose and it will make just a little ATP, 2 ATP, but it's better than none, and it releases the waste product lactic acid. In plants and in yeast, it doesn't use oxygen. It breaks down the glucose and makes just a little ATP, but the waste products are different. They are ethanol, which is an alcohol, and carbon dioxide. Watch this video to learn more about anaerobic respiration and answer the questions. And then you can come back here to check your answers. Did you watch the video? I hope so. It's a really good one and will help to very clearly explain anaerobic respiration, which is sometimes called fermentation. On the last slide, after you've checked your answers here and fixed any problems that you had, there are 4 practice problems. So take a few minutes and look at the problems and add in your answers. Then come back here to check and see if you got them right. Here are the answers to the practice questions. Which pathway is aerobic? It's the one that uses oxygen, which is pathway 3. Aerobic uses oxygen. Anaerobic does not. So pathway 3 is the best answer. Which organisms can carry out cellular respiration? Well, cellular respiration is how they get ATP needed to survive. And all organisms can do that, even bacteria, which don't have mitochondria. But they can use parts of their cell membrane to act just like the folded inner membrane and use enzymes there to do cellular respiration. So every living thing can do some sort of cellular respiration to create the ATP the cell needs. Here we have a plant with a lot of light and some bubbles. And it asks which gas is most likely. Well, where light increases, so does photosynthesis. What gas does photosynthesis release? Oxygen. So the best answer here is A. And finally, in which way are photosynthesis and cellular respiration different? Does cellular respiration store ATP? Nope. Does cellular respiration produce oxygen? Nope, it makes CO2. Does photosynthesis release energy and respiration stores it? Nope. Does photosynthesis use carbon dioxide while cellular respiration produces it? Yes. And so the best answer here is D. I hope you got these right and understood why or why not if you didn't, and that this was helpful. I'll see you next time. In the meantime, have a great day.